Hey guys, how are you doing? Espero que vocês estejam muito bem. Hoje estou trazendo algo diferente aqui para vocês. Estou trazendo uma conversação com o nativo da língua inglesa para você treinar o seu listening. Ou seja, uma maneira bem legal e divertida de você aprender novas palavras e também conhecer um pouco sobre a cultura da Inglaterra. E para você que ficar até o fim do vídeo, você vai ter uma oportunidade especial 100% gratuita. Então não saia daí. Então bora começar o vídeo. Today, we're here with
Hi.
Ivor.
Right, that's right. My name's Ivor. Yep. Hi, everyone. And yeah, so today I'm talking with Christian, and we're going to talk about some general topics.
Okay, I was thinking because I can just look at my window now and it's quite rainy today
Hmm.
and cloudy, and that's something quite common in London, at least.
Yes, absolutely. It is raining a lot in London. As I'm sure your followers will know, London has a reputation for being a grey, rainy, cold city. And at least in my opinion, it is pretty true. If you live here long enough, you'll experience the nice, wet, cold weather of London. But what's your opinion on the weather in London, Christian?
I I would say it's quite shitty, if I could say that here. I don't know if I'm gonna just beep this part, but yeah, it's just not as good as I mean, I kind of like the weather, you know, sometimes these kind of I don't know how to say that, but melancholic feeling,
Mm.
you know,
Hmm.
but it's just for a moment or so, but for every single day throughout the year, I think could be a bit more sunny, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's interesting because I was speaking with a Russian student, and he was saying London actually has more sun than Moscow. If you look at the whole year, amount of sun per day uh, per day in a year. So maybe it's not actually that
Bad.
cloudy, but I'm sure for you coming from Brazil, do you what is your feeling about if you compare it to the weather in Brazil?
Oh, it's totally different. It's totally different because I'm from Minas Gerais. Probably you've never heard of it, but I could say it's just like have you ever heard of Rio?
Hmm. Yeah,
Weird.
of course.
Yeah. So it's just like quite it's not that far, about 7 hours driving. But it's quite close if you
Right.
see the size, you know, of Brazil. So but the weather it's totally different. It's quite hot. When it's cold in Brazil, it's just about I would say 18 degrees and it's sunny. During summer, it's sunny as hell,
Mm.
you know, and it's quite hot. But I kind of I like it, but last time when I went to Brazil, I was like, "Whoa, that's way too hot here." And I don't know if we get used to the weather when we live abroad, you know.
Mm.
So just like I think Brazil is a bit too hot, and
Mm.
here it's sometimes a bit too cold. I think we can't be pleased anyway.
That's true. That's true. Wherever you are, you want something else. But you know, I also think a bit like you, having lived in other hot countries, I realized actually, you don't want super hot sun every day. It's it's actually kind of dangerous and also just, yeah, very uncomfortable. So it's kind of better to have cool weather than super hot sun. At least you're not. At least you can go outside and you just put warm clothes on and yeah, enjoy yourself. So actually in London, I realize why a lot of the Arabic people from the really hot countries in the Middle East, they come to London in the summertime because they love the bad summer. They think it's great, just it's like being in an air conditioned, room. So yeah, in some ways London weather is good because it's fresh, you have lots of wind, but and one thing I miss in other countries is England is very green because of all the rain. And I don't know, there's something nice about the green, lots of green trees and plants everywhere. So when you arrived in London, did you have a sort of shock, like weather shock?
Yes. Actually, I came to London in October,
Hmm.
and it was quite cold, at least, for me it was very cold. And I didn't have enough clothes for the weather here.
Mm.
What I was wearing was just like a very thin, jacket, and I thought it would, work. It would be okay, but actually no. I was freezing when I came here. And if I tell you this story, when I came here was just like a disaster because I couldn't speak English at all. My phone didn't work, and I needed to find the hotel that I was booked in,
Mm.
and
Mm.
I couldn't find it.
Mm.
So, but of course, I printed the map so I could get to the hotel.
Mhm.
I knew the bus that I needed to take and all that. But anyways, when I got to the
Mhm.
hotel was closed. No, it wasn't closed, but it was too late to check
Check
in.
in. Mm.
So I had, so I
So
had,
you were homeless.
I was homeless. My first day in London, I was homeless, you know.
Mm.
And the worst part was that I had to sleep on a bus.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
So you
with
were really, really homeless.
I was a proper homeless, you know. And I was with my
Suitcase.
suitcase, and all the time I was so tired because the time flight from Brazil to London was
Mm.
about 10 hours, but before that we have to prepare everything, we have to go to the airport. It was quite bad and it was very, very cold. That was the day that was like, oh my god, that's what it's something that we can call cold.
Right, right. Yeah, English cold is very, in my opinion, worse than other cold because it's very wet and it feels colder somehow. When it's dry and cold, somehow it's not so cold. But why didn't you just charge your phone in a cafe or something? Like, how come you couldn't use your phone or
Actually, I did use when I was at the airport,
hmm.
but I didn't have the SIM card.
Oh, you didn't
So
have data.
yeah, I didn't have data.
Hmm.
So I mean, I couldn't do anything. So I was just like in a very bad situation. It was the
Hmm.
day that I was thinking, what am I doing here? But but
Welcome to England.
but then I started to see all the good things. England is just like a beautiful country, Everywhere that I go here is just like, I don't know, I go to central London. s- Everywhere I go, something different. It's so beautiful. And I
Mm.
quite love it. Not only me, but I think many, many people. By the way, where are you from? You didn't
Hmm.
mention it.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't mention that. I'm born in London, and I've lived in London most of my life. Went to university here, grew up here as a child, and but I can't really say like I'm from London because I've lived in other parts of England and also other countries more recently. Like lots of different countries. I've traveled a lot. So I'm really, but I would say now I'm a Londoner. Yeah. And so, yeah, so I also love London and appreciate it a lot and England also. Um, Although earlier in my life, I thought like, the way you think your country is not that good and other countries are better. I used to think, England's not the weather sucks, other things I would complain about. But yeah, like you now, I really appreciate England, and I think even though we have some bad things, overall, like we have a lot of interesting things, a lot of history,
Yeah.
a lot of culture. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, as you were saying, I think there is an English expression about I don't remember how it is, but the neighbor's grass is greener than our grass or something like that.
Yeah,
People
the grass is always greener on the other side.
Many people think that way, but every country they have their own beauty, I would say, you know.
Mm. Yeah. I from having traveled a bit, I would say like some countries are definitely more beautiful than others.
Yeah. That's
Like
true.
like if you compare like Switzerland with I don't want to put a country down, so I'm not going to do the bad one. But like a less beautiful country. Like even if you compare Switzerland with England, I mean, you cannot compare the mountains in Switzerland with like, you know, we have some hills, but they're not quite mountains. So yeah, things are not evenly distributed, but you're right, like every country has good sides and bad sides for sure. And I think one of the what do you think are the good sides of England and English people?
Good sides. Okay, let's just start with politeness. English people are very polite, especially when you go out of London. Because
Mm,
London, I mean, actually, I don't see many English people in London, but because I mean, there are people from all around the world in London,
mm,
right? So actually, English people, I think they are very polite, and that's something that I quite like here. The the way that the houses are here in London, or
mm-hmm.
all the architecture are
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it. I think when I came here, actually, I was just like, oh, all these streets, they look very similar. I'm gonna get lost here because it's so similar, you know. And I think that's something so beautiful, so beautiful. Of course, there are lots of places here in England that I want to visit. As I don't know if you ever been to the Lake District.
Mm. Yeah, I've never been there, but yeah, I've heard it's very beautiful. Yeah, the Lake District, and there's a lot of national parks in England that are really cool. I think the Lake District is one of them. So, yeah, they're very wild and yeah. So that's one of the reasons also I like England because it's very beautiful, very green. If you like nature, you can go hiking. We have also these like a network of paths and stuff that goes across the whole country. So you can walk everywhere and I think also go camping, but I'm not
Yes.
not 100% sure about that. There is private land, so don't go camping everywhere.
I've been camping here in England a few times, and I can say, yeah, it's pretty interesting and good.
Cool.
Actually, we have to rent. We have to pay for for the place. You just can't go anywhere. Just like no,
Mm,
that's not how things work. But there are places that you can actually rent,
y-
let's say a few square meters,
yeah,
you assemble, that's how you say it?
yeah, yeah. Set up the tent. Yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
called campsites, right?
camping sites, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Mm,
actually they provide you like a cable so you can charge your phone if you want, you
Mm.
know. So it's not something I would say very.
Not totally wild
No,
experience.
no, it's not. But I actually I've been to another camping place, you know,
Mm.
so nice, and though this one was more wild, if I
Mm.
could say that way.
Mm-hmm.
We had to, you know, to make a fire,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, and all that.
Nice.
So it was very nice. The shops there, they were all only open for a certain time of the day, just for a
Mm-hmm.
few hours, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to go to a pub, for example, then we would have to walk for about like an hour, 2 hours because it's quite far.
Wow.
But yeah, actually, I'm gonna just check the place. It's called what's the name? Black Cherry. Cherry. No, it's not Black Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but it's a bit far from London. I would say
Mm-hmm.
it's near Brighton, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah. I was gonna ask what region. Yeah, I think camping. I've done a bit of camping. I'm not so into it anymore. I just kind of like I do like the idea of camping, and I want to go camping more in like Canada, maybe Sweden, like these kind of Nordic countries, because you have this right, I think in Sweden, maybe not in Canada, but you can go totally wild into the forest and set a fire, make a fire, and even do like fishing. And it's a bit harder in England because it's such a small country. You could if you go somewhere the somebody owns the land, and it's not such a big scale country. But it's you. I mean, you live in London as well, right? So you must find it important to get outside the city and go into nature and relax, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely, yes. I've been to a few places here, you know, in the UK, but most of them were just not that far from London, just about 3, 4 hours, you know. But one place that I want to go actually is the I mentioned to you, the Lake District.
Mm,
I've been there virtually. What I mean by that, just like from Google Maps,
hmm
and it looks so beautiful, and I want to go there. Actually, I've not been to so many places here
mm,
in the UK, but I could say that the place that I've been to, they are pretty good.
mm.
Brighton is a city, a very nice city actually. Brighton, I quite like
Right,
it. And
right.
one thing that I forgot to mention is about the transportation in the UK, which is just awesome.
You think so?
Yeah, no, seriously, seriously. Seriously,
Wow.
because here we can go to anywhere from, I mean, from London. I would
Mm,
say it's quite easy to go from London to Brighton, for example.
mm. Yeah. Well, I often complain about the trains, particularly the train prices. I think they're very high. But I guess you're right, like in terms of connections and you could get a bus to everywhere, you can get a train. Yeah, you're probably right. Like if I compare it to some like other countries, but then in Europe, we kind of compare it to other countries who have much better transportation. Like if you go to Germany or Switzerland or probably those countries, like they have amazing trains. And then I look at our trains and they're kind of a little bit old and they're not so fancy. And I'm like, why do we have these ones and they have such amazing trains? But no, I take what you mean. Like generally the transportation is very good, especially in London. So where have you been on the train? Or where have you been traveling around the UK?
Okay, so I do not remember the names that I've been to, but I could say, let me just open the maps here. Fine. So I've been to, where's that place? Let me see here. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, I'm not gonna say Brighton again because that's kind of annoying, but yeah, I've been to Reading,
Hmm.
not
Yeah,
far.
not far.
I've been to Isle of Portland.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me in Dorset, near I think it's near Portsmouth.
Yes, yes.
Right. Right.
So I've
Uh,
been there. So yeah, I've been to some places around London actually, and I want to go to Bath. I've never
mm.
been to Bath, but I think it's a beautiful city. But actually, you can tell me, probably you've been to many more places than I, so
Yeah, well, actually I grew up a little bit near Bath, near Salisbury for a few years, and so when I was a teenager, I used to go a lot to Bath, Bristol, Salisbury, these kind of cities. And Bath is very beautiful. I like it a lot. If anybody researches Bath, they'll see it has these old Roman baths, and the architecture is very interesting. The stone is very beautiful. So I definitely recommend going to Bath. Also Bristol. I think I like Bristol. It's a nice city. Bristol's kind of like the alternative city to London. London is like busy, paced, money, finance, work. Bristol is like arty, chilled out vibes kind of place. So if you like that and you want to have a more chilled out experience in England, like Bristol's a cool city. But apart from those cities, in Salisbury, I also recommend Salisbury because it has the biggest cathedral, I believe, in the UK, like in terms of the height, at least. It's
Mhm.
the highest cathedral. It's pretty interesting town. Yeah, but weirdly, I haven't been to that many cities in England either.
Have you been to Cambridge?
I've never been to Cambridge, never, no. But it looks very beautiful. I would like to go there and to Oxford. Yeah, so
Yeah,
what's on your not your bucket list, but your list of travel?
yeah. Actually, I was thinking to go to Cambridge because it's not that far from here, and it's a very nice city, and I think there are a lot of students there in
Mm,
Cambridge because of the university, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think
Which
most
is
cities.
just very known university, Cambridge.
Hmm.
Everyone knows, or at least have heard of Cambridge, at least,
Hmm. Hmm.
So I want to go there, but what I'm more interested of is to visit, the Harry Potter studio. I don't know where it is, but I know it's somewhere here in England, you
Mm,
know, and I
mm,
think it would be a very nice experience to visit Harry Potter studio, or at least
mm.
the platform, the 9 3/4
Yes,
platform. Yeah.
yes. In King's
So
Cross.
it's in King's Cross.
King's Cross, yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's the real. I'm pretty sure that they just made that, like, they filmed it in a totally different area and then they just kind of created that thing to make money from tourists.
Don't say that to me. I'm gonna cry here.
No, because when I look at the movie and when I look at the movie, he goes into a thing on the platform. He's like,
Yeah.
but when they do it in the station, it's just a wall in the station. It's like nothing can.
So
Uh,
disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, reality is not quite the same as the movie.
But at least the buzzes, they are just the same, identical, I would say, because I don't know if is there, the two floors
The
buzzing.
double-decker buses, yeah, they're
The
they're the same. As
they are the same.
they haven't changed, yeah. No, yeah, those are quite cool. I mean, and actually they're a pretty cool way to see London. If you just get on one and sit on the top and go through central London, it's a nice way to see the city, especially if you sit at the front. You can sit at the front. There are 4 seats, and just get a seat there, and you have an amazing view. But what was the other thing? You said the Harry Potter studio. I think that is a real studio, but I think they just made it into like a kind of theme park to I mean, there's a lot of fans that want to visit, but I haven't been. I'm not gonna destroy your dreams anymore. I'm,
Nice, nice.
I'm sh-
Actually, I've been watching Harry Potter's movies
mm,
again. I think for the fourth time, not gonna lie, but all of them because I think it's a very good way to learn English as well, especially
yeah,
British English.
mm, definitely, yeah. I would agree. I think because the movies have a lot of famous older actors who have interesting accents, and I can't think of all of their names right now, but you know what I mean. Like they have like the great act, a lot of great English actors, and so yeah, I would agree. And also like I think the language probably gets harder each movie because the audience is growing up, and the actors, Harry Potter and those age actors, they're getting older progressively. So yeah, I would agree. Movies in general and TV shows. I recommend some TV shows to my students, like obviously Friends and even The Simpsons. I like stuff like also Seinfeld. These are old kind of comedy series from the 90s, but they're good because they're quite simple plots for each episode. Very simple plot, and but just very funny as well. So yeah. In terms of TV shows, what do you watch?
I've been watching actually The Crown on
Hmm.
Netflix, but I think it's quite difficult to understand, to be honest, not gonna lie to you. The
Yeah,
Crown. I don't
yeah.
know if because the words that they use are just about politics or about the royal family and all that. But
Mm,
I've been trying to watch it, but I actually prefer something more relaxed and funny,
mm,
something to enjoy because I think part of the process of learning something new is to enjoy as well. You have to
mm.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
So The Office actually is something very nice. Harry Potter, as I said. Friends, I I don't like that much.
I mean, Friends is it's not everyone's cup of tea, as they say. But like you said, if it's funny, if it has a bit of humor, it's a bit easier to follow, to get into, right? Because it's not so serious. And I just say Friends. I think I say Friends because when I was like a teenager and things, Friends was like the the TV show that was on TV all the time. It was like, I mean, I think it was the biggest hit TV show. Like, it was just huge. I can't think of a TV show that you would compare it to now because there's so many more TV shows. But like back then, Friends was like it was huge, and a bit like The Simpsons as well. Like Friends and The Simpsons was on all the time. But yeah, having, I mean, serious TV shows. depends what you're interested in. If you like history, then maybe more kind of historical TV shows would be way more interesting. Yeah, there's something
Mhm.
for everything in TV
Yes.
shows,
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
every taste.
Mm.
Fine. Actually, yeah, I think we've been talking for a while now.
Yeah, we have, for
And
sure.
time flies. Not gonna lie to you, it's just like, oh my god. It was very nice talking to you. But actually, if someone wants to, I know you also give like English lessons, private English lessons, right?
I do, right, yes. And yeah, if anybody wants lessons, any of your viewers, I'd be happy to speak to them, see what their goals are for English, and if I can help at all.
Nice one. I'm gonna put your details down below on the description
Yeah,
so they can just contact you. Very nice. So it was very nice talking to you,
you
actually.
too. You too, Christian. Yeah, as always. And yeah, great to speak to you.
Nice. So see you next time then.
Absolutely.
Muito legal, né, pessoal? Além da gente aprender inglês, conhecer novas palavras, a gente ainda se diverte. E agora você que tá aqui comigo, que chegou até o final, meus parabéns, eu não esqueci do bônus que eu preparei para você. Eu e o Ivor decidimos dar para os meus seguidores que ficassem até o final 30 minutos de conversação totalmente gratuita com o nativo, no caso, com o Ivor. E é isso mesmo, 100% gratuito. E não importa se você não tem muita prática na fala, essa aula é para isso mesmo. Agora, para você que sente que ainda não está preparado, daqui a algumas semanas eu estarei abrindo vagas para o meu curso de inglês, a Academia da Fluência, que vai do zero até a fluência em inglês. No momento, as matrículas estão fechadas, mas eu vou deixar o link aqui abaixo para você entrar na lista de espera. Espero que você tenha gostado. Se gostou, não esqueça de deixar o seu like, compartilhar e deixe aqui nos comentários se você quer mais vídeos como esse. Então é isso e eu te vejo em breve. Take care!